In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a Vogue-inspired magazine cover using Kittl. It's super easy to do with our photos feature along with some typography, and we're going to share some tips and tricks for what you need to know in creating these magazine covers. And by the way, if you don't have Kittl yet, go ahead and sign up using the link down in the description, and then you can follow along with this tutorial. So let's get started. All right, to get started, we are going to be using an 8.5 by 11 size for this. That's a pretty standard size magazine. Of course, you could have some other sizes. It really just depends on the style that you're going to want to go for. And to get started, we are going to find a photo because most of the time in a sort of Vogue style fashion magazine, you have some sort of model. And so we can just type in female model here in our Unsplash integration. And I really like this one right here because the lighting is super good. The focus is there on the face. Everything is working nicely, including the background. So there's not a ton going on in the background. So our text is going to stand out while the main focal point is still the individual, the person that's there in the middle. And so we are going to make our own sort of Vogue style, but we're going to call it Rogue. And what we need to do is actually duplicate this image so that we can cut one out. So we need two photos here, and then we are going to remove the background from one of them so that we can easily place text behind our subject. So I'm going to call this top one cutout, and then we'll just leave the bottom one as the original photo. And so now once that's done, all we need to do is make sure that the top one is selected. And so let's go ahead and turn off the back one so we don't mess anything up. So let's select cutout and then hit AI background remover. And once we click this, it just takes a second. It'll think about it, and then boom, it will remove the background from any image, whether you've uploaded it or you've added it from Unsplash or whatever it is. It'll easily remove it for you. You could change the color, but what we're going to do is turn on the background. And so there it is. Now it looks all together as if it is one, but then you'll see something really cool when we add our text and then put it behind that first cutout. It'll be easily placed behind it, very much like the Vogue style. So we're going to call ours Rogue, just something kind of simple, a little play on words there. And I'm going to click this style font. It's called Mosel, and it is very similar to the elegant serif style font that Vogue uses, as well as a couple of other fashion styles. And we could even check out these ligatures to see if there's something cool, and I think that's really cool how the R and the O are there together. Gives it a little bit more character, maybe a little bit more interest, maybe makes it look kind of like a logo. And so we can drop the Rogue text here just below cutout over in the layers panel, and then once I do, boom, our subject is now on top of the text, but the photo that's in the back here is still remaining. So it's super cool. You can get a really cool effect like that. Just keep in mind that if you want to move the photo, you need to select both of them. See, I just hit the cutout, but I need to select both of them to move it around. So if you do any sizing and stuff like that, you really need to make sure that you have both of them selected. And so what we're going to actually do for the remainder of this tutorial is go ahead and lock them, because I don't want to accidentally grab one and move it out of place when I'm trying to grab something else. Hey, real quick, if you're getting value out of this magazine cover tutorial, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button and hitting that red subscribe button, and then let me know in the comments, are you a magazine cover creator? Are you an editorial person? Maybe you work in magazines or fashion or something. It'd be super interesting to know if you work in layout and things like that. So let me know down in the comments, and let's get back to the tutorial. So now that we have our main title text up there at the top, we're going to hit T, add some more text, and we're going to have our main subtitle text, or our main kind of tagline text for this magazine, because Rogue is being kind of the brand, our main headline name. And so our main headline for the title of this magazine is going to be in this Playfair style font, and I'm going to choose the italic version because I think that gives it just a little bit more character. It makes it look nice and elegant right here. It also kind of fits the waviness of the hair a little bit. So we're going to go with understated elegance, decrease the line height a little bit, and I think that looks really good just like that. Now we're going to go a little bit farther, put a little bit more subtext in here, and choose a more sans serif style font that just gives it a little bit of hierarchy. It's a little easier to understand which one is most important. We don't want this subtext to be super big or anything like that. It's just kind of nominal. It's just kind of filler text underneath. So once we have it at a size that we think we want it, we can go ahead and put how to look naturally gorgeous. That'll be our subtext. But you can see there the hierarchy is very clear. We want you to see understated elegance first. And so now what we can do is duplicate that and adjust it and align it to the right, because what we're going to do is have little blocks of subtext titles, or maybe like things that are going on in the magazine, like little tips and tricks and things like that. And you've probably seen these, whether they're in your grocery store or maybe at a doctor's office or something. You've seen this. And so what we're going to do is use 2 pixels there, or 2 boxes on the side there as a margin. And so once we have our text title there, what I'm going to do is go to the next line and hit X, because then I can duplicate it. You can hit Alt or Option key and drag. And so what I'm going to do is align this text here on top of that X, because it's not going to be the same exact size. I'm basically going to have subtitles with subtext. So now, boom, I can drop this down, make it a little bit smaller, then I can delete that X, and everything is there correctly spaced. If I had left it in the same block, I wouldn't have been able to adjust the size, so that was just kind of a neat little trick. You could also just use the boxes there. If you turn the grid on, you can easily use the boxes that way. But now let's select all 3 of these. I've duplicated them a couple times, and to adjust the spacing, all I have to do is hit the tidy tool, and boom, it adjusts it so that it's evenly spaced there. But now what I want to do is have one block over here on the left, kind of like a subtitle block over on the left. So then I can just hold Alt or Option key and drag this all the way over, and then I can just hit the left align button over here. And now keep in mind, you'll have to double click in and adjust that block, because it did adjust to the text, but it didn't adjust space. So now, boom, I can hit align all of the blocks right there, and so it's perfectly together. Turn back on my grid, and then boom, I'm using 2 boxes right there to make sure that it's perfectly the same as the way of the other style. Now I'm just going to go and fill in all of these subtext titles just to give them a little bit of variety. I'm just using words that you might commonly see on a magazine or something like that. And so now what I'm going to do is give just a little extra visual interest, because a lot of times you'll see these magazines have the place of which, you know, the origin or the country or wherever they're being shown. And so I'm going to put North America up here inside of the U right here, and then I'm going to just decrease it and make it the same color, yellow, just kind of like a little visual interest piece right there. So then I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to put it over here next to the R. I'm going to left justify it, and then this is where we're going to put our date. Now you could go crazy with the extra little details, because sometimes you will see magazine covers have a lot going on. You could put the barcode on there if you downloaded a barcode from somewhere. You could put extra little details if you want more pieces of text. It depends on what you're going for and what you want your magazine style to be. But here is our final Rogue magazine cover made in Kittl. Super easy to do. I hope you have a ton of fun with this tutorial. Now, if you want to see other tutorials using Kittl, I have these videos here on my right that I know you're going to enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos and features and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.